We are closer and closer to the Asian Cup in Qatar, but Iran has another friendly match. On today's episode, we will recap Iran's friendly match with Burkina Faso and preview Iran's upcoming friendly against Indonesia. You know the deal, and you know what time it is. It's time for Team Melli Talk. The fans were definitely excited to see Team Melli in Kish. Hey everyone, welcome back to Team Melli Talk. Like I said earlier, we are getting closer and closer to the Asian Cup in Qatar, and this means that you are in the mood to buy some Team Melli gear. Contact us on social media or send us an email, teammelitalk@gmail.com. We have green retro Iran shirts and Team Melli scarves. You know you want them. Next, let's take a look at Iran's starting lineup against Burkina Faso. Getting the starting goal, Ali Reza Bayranvand. Now for the back line, Milad Mohammadi, Majid Hosseini, Hossein Kanani, Sadegh Moharrami. Now for the midfielders, Mohammad Mohebi, Saeed Reza Tolahi, Saman Godus, Ali Reza Jahanbash. And up top, Mehdi Taremi and Shahryar Moganlu. Not many surprises in this starting lineup from Amir Ghalanoui, but now let's check out the highlights.
اونجا میرن که توپو لو بدن. شهریار مغانلو گرفته توپو میره برای محمد محبی. بریم برای گل اول. توپی که رد شد اونجا. مهدی طارمی عقب میاد، توپ میگیره، کمک میکنه به بازی سازی ما. ببینید چقدر تاثیر داره این حرکات مهدی. میلاد محمدی از چپ ارسالش رو انجام میده. این شوت میتونه گل اول ایران باشه. پاس داد میلاد، توپ دورم خودش گرفت و ضربه‌ای که با این عکس العمل به کورنر فرستاده شد. علیرضا جهانبخش قرار گرفت مقابل یار حریف، پشت محوطه میخواد شوت بزنه. سعید زطلایی درگیر با حریف، ارسالی که انجام میشه درون محوطه ایران و علیرضایی که بیرون میاد و بورکینافاسو. سامان قدوس یه لحظه از پشت سر اومدن، هر طوری است میخواد متوقف کنه یار حریف و بعد جای توپ لو رفت. این ضربه‌ای که زده میشه و گل برای بورکینافاسو. لو داد سامان، هر چقدر تلاش کرد، هر جایی از لباس حریفم کشید که حرکت نکنه، اما این توپ رسید و ضربه‌ای که زده شد و در نهایت باز شد دروازه ایران. توپ اول به تیرک برخورد کرد و بعد اسمید محمد کناته زننده اولین گل بازیه. کنانی منطقه بازی عوض میکنه به چپ. خوب بود پاس کنانی، استوپه در حرکت میلادم خوب بود. درون محوطه پاس رو به جلو و توپی که میتونه تبدیل به گل بشه برای مانع. رد شد توپ و رسید به علی جهانبخش. نفر اول ما که پشت ضربات کورنر سامان قدوسه. بازم ارسالش این بار کوتاه به تیر یک. این ضربه‌ای که زده شد و ولی این دومین توپی بود که از مهدی طارمی گرفتینم. اونا 26 دی ماه اولین بازیشون رو با موریتانی برگزار میکنن. ما هم که اولین بازیمون با فلسطینه. علیرضا جهانبخش، مهدی طارمی گل اول. نه بازم گرفت توپ با هلال کناته. بلند درون محوطه حریف، ضربه که میزنه شهریار مغانلو و حالا گل. سومیش رفت تو گل. مگه میشه این روزا توی بازی گل نزنه مهدی؟ 1-1 مساوی، گل میزنه برای ما. سومین توپه که تو این بازی بهش رسید، چسبید به تور دروازه بورکینافاسو. حضور دارن، استقبال فوق‌العاده‌ای داشتن از این بازی. گل اول ایرانو اون سر زد شهریار، خودش توپ زد، رسید توپ به طارمی. اینطوری دیگه شماره 9 ما مهدی طارمی. تا باشه ببینیم از این گلا از مهدی چند روز دیگه تو جام ملت‌ها. یاد نکنیم از مرتضی پورعلیگنجی که میتونست تو این لیست باشه ولی مصدومیت بدموقع گریبانشو گرفت. کریم انصاریفر پشت محوطه جریمه هلال کناته قرار گرفت. حالا این کارو انجام میده و توپی که چجوری در دستانه در اختیار این دروازه‌بان قرار گرفت. ببینیم اینجا با هم دیگه. از راست توپو گرفته آریا یوسفی. رضا اسدی چه دامی قشنگی. بزن مهدی قائدی گل دومو. قشنگ بود، حیف که اینم گل نشد. توپو رها کرد. اینجا رضا اسدی از پشت اومد، مهدی قائدی ضربش رو هم زد، اما بازم این آقای کناته است که امشب انگار قصد نداره به راحتی گل بخوره. دروازه‌بان خوبی نشون داده. ادامه بده. احسان آشرفی بلند توپ رد شده از همه و رسیده به علی قلیزاده. با تعداد نفرات بالا درون محوطه جریمه حریف. ضربه کریم انصاری فر توپی که برگشت داده میشه. حالا گل دوم. امیدم بازگشتشو با شکوه جشن میگیره به تیم ملی. گل دوم از امید ابراهیمی. خوشحالی تماشاگران حاضر در ورزشگاه. 2-1 پیش افتادیم. این شادی گل هم که در آستانه جام ملت‌ها، یعنی امید داره به همه خبر میده که داره پدر هم میشه. تیم ملی کشورمون چه استوپی گرفتن و توپو بردن به چپ. سدریک بادولو خودش توپو در اختیار داره، با پای راست ضربش رو هم زد و پیام نیازمند به بیرون رفت. یه لحظه اومد لبه خط توی چی گفت به بچهای تیم ملی. ارسال بلندی که انجام میشه، توپی که میزنن و پیام نیازمند در اختیار میگیره ضربه بازیکن‌های حریف رو. پایین بازی به صدا در میاد. آخرین دیدار دوستانه ما در کشورمون قبل از رقابت‌های جام ملت‌ها با برتری 2-1 مقابل بورکینافاسو در جزیره کیش به پایان رسید. امیدوارم که از تماشای مسابقه لذت برده باشید.
A 2-1 win for Iran over Burkina Faso. Let's face it, it's always nice to see Iran score a come-from-behind victory, and the fans in Kish definitely had a good time. But before we continue, let's hear from my good friend, Navid Taher.
I think we played well. I'm happy that two of our younger players, Saman Fala and Arya Yousufi, gave their debut for Team Melli. I hope in the future Amir Qalanoui will also give more youngsters the chance to play for Team Melli, known as record of really insisting on the very experienced and older players. For me, the man of the match, I don't think anyone really stood out with an amazing performance. I just thought Omid gave me a very good feeling, was very calm on the ball. It was nice to see him reward his great performance with a goal. I at first wasn't sure how Omid would play. He's obviously one of the older players, I think the oldest in the squad with almost 37 years old. I was also first, I'm not gonna lie, skeptical about his call-up, but yeah, he played well. He almost reminded me of his good old days, 2018-19, with peak performances in the Asia Cup and the World Cup. So you could tell Omid is someone you can rely on. Obviously, you got a little slow with time, but he's definitely someone you can throw in for 20-30 minutes in a tight game.
Thank you, Navid, for sharing your input. Now, to pick up on what Navid had to share, I also chose Omid Ibrahimi as my man of the match. He scored the game-winning goal, and it was actually his first ever goal for Team Melli. The bottom line is that Omid Ibrahimi has hardly played for Iran in recent years, but he definitely took advantage of this opportunity. Now, I rarely ever do this, but I had one man of the match from Iran and one from Burkina Faso. This was an easy choice because goalkeeper Hillel Konate was amazing against Iran, making save after save. The score would have been very different had it not been for the heroics of Hillel Konate. Overall, Iran was easily the better team, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that Amir Qalanoui used a completely different lineup in the second half. It comes as no surprise that Ehsan Hadsafi and Omid Ibrahimi were the leaders on the pitch in the second half. As for some obvious negatives from this match, we cannot ignore the goal scored by Burkina Faso, because Saman Ghoddos was muscled off the ball and Hossein Kenani gave way too much space to striker Mohamed Konate. And of course, Amir Qalanoui really loves Hossein Kenani. But if I have to talk about something disappointing, it's got to be that Burkina Faso's best footballers didn't play against Iran. When looking back at the previous episode of Team Melli Talk, I picked out and shared the 4 players to watch from Burkina Faso: Edmond Tapsoba, Issa Kabore, Dango Ouattara, and Bertrand Traore. None of these guys played against Iran, and head coach Hubert Veloud chose to field an experimental starting lineup that included 3 African-based players, 1 player from the second division in Italy, 2 players from the lower leagues of France, and 1 player from the 5th level of football in Spain. Iran and Indonesia have played each other on 5 occasions. Iran has obviously gotten the better of Indonesia. The last meeting was back in 2011 during the early rounds of 2014 World Cup qualifying. Iran scored an easy 4-1 victory on that day behind goals from Milad Medavoudi, Mojtaba Jabari, Golam Reza Rezai, and of course, the legendary Javad Nekunam. Indonesia will also be using this friendly match against Iran to prepare for the upcoming Asian Cup in Qatar. This will be Indonesia's first time in the Asian Cup since 2007. As you can see, Indonesia was unable to make it out of the group stage each time. Indonesia has never been a force in Asian football, but recently, Indonesia has acquired European footballers of Indonesian descent. Let's have a look. I call them the Dutch Connection. Shane Patinama, Justin Hubner, Sandy Walsh, Ivar Jenner, and Rafael Struijk. Starting with left back Shane Patinama, although he is technically unattached, he recently played for Viking in the top flight of football in Norway from 2021 to 2023. Center back Justin Hubner currently plays for Wolverhampton in the English Premier League. He hasn't made any league appearances yet, but he is only 20 years old and he was previously capped for Netherlands at the U20 level. Right back Sandy Walsh is currently playing for Mechelen in the Belgian Pro League. Sandy Walsh has been playing for Mechelen since 2020 and he made appearances for the Netherlands at the U19 level. Next, midfielder Ivar Jenner of FC Utrecht in the Netherlands. Ivar Jenner has yet to make an appearance for Utrecht in the Eredivisie, but he is only 19 years old and has plenty of upside. Last but not least, forward Rafael Struijk of ADO Den Haag. Struijk has not made any appearances for Den Haag in the Dutch second division, but he is also 20 years old and he brings more skill to the Indonesian national team. The head coach of Indonesia is former South Korean midfielder Shin Tae-yong. Shin Tae-yong was head coach of South Korea at the 2018 World Cup in Russia. He was also an assistant coach for South Korea from 2014 to 2017, so he is definitely very familiar with Team Melli, the national team of Iran. As for the keys to victory, number 1, press the back line. Number 2, watch the long ball tactics. Shin Tae-yong comes off as a coach who isn't afraid to tell his players to be aggressive. Therefore, Iran needs to press early in order to establish control. And of course, let's not forget, Iran will face Indonesia in Doha, Qatar on January 9th. Rumor has it that this match is supposed to be played behind closed doors. I don't like this, but what can we do? As always, Iran doesn't get the opportunity to play friendly matches against really good opponents. And this is frustrating because it's hard to improve when you're always playing against weaker opposition. But getting upset about it will not solve anything. All we can do is hope that Iran uses the next friendly match and the first 3 matches of the Asian Cup to be ready for the knockout stage and play some exciting football. And that's it, everybody, for this edition of Team Melli Talk. As always, really do appreciate the support. Make sure you get to our website, www.teammellitalk.com. Remember, this is your best source for the latest news on Team Melli, the national team of Iran. Make sure you find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X. You know the handle at Team Melli Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification button. See you on the next edition of Team Melli Talk.